Hey y'all, Mike with Cardboard Kingdom. Happy Halloween. I hope you all are doing well. Hope you all are going to get out and trick or treat with the kiddos. Would love to hear what you guys' kids are going to be for Halloween. I personally have Winifred from Hocus Pocus. That is what my oldest is going to be. We have Batman slash kind of changed his mind today. We have a Batman costume, but my son he went to school as a Royals player, so he has his Batman costume in his bag. Who knows what that's gonna shape out to be? He just turned 3, so goes by the seat of his pants, as they say. And then the baby, nothing crazy there. Just have like a kitty cat onesie, so nothing too lucrative on the costume front this year. But the Winifred one's pretty cool that my daughter has. So that is what the kids will be. Would love to hear what you guys are going to be doing. And then I thought this tweet, it's citizens of Lorcana retweeted it. I thought this is a really cool way to do Halloween, right? Lorcana style. They kind of took some starter decks out, they left them in the wrapping, and then they took the guidebook that comes with the starter decks, wrapped it in some cellophane, like a little bag there, and then they've got that option for the kiddos when they come to trick or treat. Yeah, that's a really really cool idea. Something that I think I'll probably partake in the future. Right now, we're definitely out on the hunt for the candy. Right, we don't give out much candy because we're just out and about getting all the candy. Right, we're more of, I guess, takers versus givers these days because we have we're in the thick of it, right? A 6-year old, a 3-year old, and a newborn. That's what we do. So we will be out and about taking all the candy. But hey, if I see a Lorcana starter deck, that'd be a pretty cool way to celebrate Halloween. So shout out to this person who's doing that. I think it's a really really cool way to do it. Even got some good decks in there. So shout out to them. And that looks like it's Kelsey the Kelpie Johnston, the Pixel Baron, that's doing that. Once again, if you guys are not following Citizens of Lorcana, it's Sea of Lorcana. Highly, highly recommend. Jared has awesome tweets like this, where you have, if you watch the baseball or World Series at all, Emerald Steel players taking the kind of the cards out of your hand, right? The Yankees fans are trying to steal the ball from Mookie Betts. Actual photo of me trying to play Lorcana against a discard opponent. I think that's just a great tweet. Shout out to Jared. Amazing work of the Twitter machine there. And then one other thing I wanted to point you guys to here before we get into some Enchanted reveals is at actual No I'm Not Kendall Burdett. This is a pro player for Labyrinth TCG. He is a Ruby Amethyst player, very very well known in the community. Placed very highly among many DLC events. He is giving away a Let It Go, which is, this is like anywhere between like a $500 to $1,000 card, probably market value, probably around somewhere around 700. Doing a giveaway for this card, which is, I mean, that's a massive giveaway. So shout out to Kindle for doing this. He asked you to like the post, repost, follow me, follow Labyrinth, and then comment your favorite memory of one of the DLCs or what you hope to see in the 2025 season. So go ahead and follow Kindle, do all those steps, and you'll have a chance to win it. He says that the winner will be picked on 11/6, so a week from today, the winner will be picked. And yeah, good luck on anyone who's able to enter that. Shout out to Kendall for that giveaway. Very very awesome. Very generous of him. Right, that's a huge $700. I mean, that card is worth a lot of money. So shout out to him. And next we're going to get into some more Enchanted reveals. So we'll start with, I think one of my favorites thus far is the Wreck-It Ralph. I think that these Enchanteds for set 6 are very polarizing. I have people commenting on my videos saying, "Are you crazy? These are amazing. Match the theme. Treasure Planet so well. The map, like this is perfect." And then I have some that are like, "These are disgusting. I'm not going to open a single pack." And so it's like it's just a polarizing set in design. And look, they strayed a lot from what kind of what they built Lorcana on in terms of that enchanted foil, the vibrant colors. It felt very, very Disney. This is a different feel, right? And so once again, I am on the fence. There's some that I like more than others. There's some that I really don't like. We'll get into one of those here in a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think that and I said this on Monday, I give Ravensburger the trust right now that they piloted these. They ran a test run. They saw them and they said, yes, these are gorgeous. These are what we want to go to print with, and they moved forward with it. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. with that being said, there's definitely a lot of risk involved with these because there's some people that love them, there's a lot of people that don't, right? And I think that just when you go this far off brand, they've got to be really really good to get people back in. And so right now, I think that's kind of the stage that we're in. They're really going to have to look really, really good in person. So the Wreck-It Ralph, once again, it's definitely, I think I have like 3 favorites thus far. Quick shout out to this card. Hate it. Oh, they didn't. That was not the transparent version. Well, they did release the translated version. This is a 7 cost uninkable for Emerald that your opponent discards their entire hand. So something like play a whole new world, sing a whole new world, then play this. Green Steel, if you ever get to 7 ink against Green Steel, which you probably won't, they could whole new world and then play this and you discard your entire hand. So just more buffoonery for Emerald Steel, but nevertheless, Yzma, we got another Enchanted for Yzma. Not another Enchanted, we got an Enchanted for Yzma. Not my favorite. Not going to sugarcoat it. I do not like this one at all. Whenever it came out, I gave my friends a sad crying emoji because I just do not love the design on that one. Getting into some of the better ones, we have Baymax. So this is one like I do like this card. I think the art looks cool, and I think that it's probably going to look pretty good in person. But I'd be lying if I said I did not wish I had this card in the old format. The old Enchanted, it has my heart. It's what I love. Now I was not a fan of Shimmering Skies, and then that Mufasa card was released, and my jaw hit the floor. I think it's one of the most gorgeous cards they've ever made. I think the colors were awesome, and so look, maybe that same thing is going to happen here. But the Baymax, I feel like in the old style would have just been better. Not to say that this one is bad. I do think it looks good. I like it. Definitely one that I will want to collect. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's so. Excited to get my hands on it. Excited to see it in person. But who knows? Maybe a couple weeks from now, I've opened our case of Azurite Sea. I pulled the Baymax, and I'm on here saying how awesome it is. Right? That could definitely happen. As of right now, definitely not my favorite of all time, but definitely I'd say like in my top 3 for Azurite Sea thus far. We have You Came Back, little Lilo and Stitch art. Very cool card. 3 unink emerald. Once again, you get to ready chosen character. So this is, different than a lot of the cards previously in previous sets have said ready chosen character, but they can't quest for the rest of this turn. This one is just ready and you do whatever you want. So this one is kind of scary if you like, especially emerald, like, the Ursula Deceiver of All. She sings another, or is it Deceiver or Deceiver of All? The 3 costs that double sings. If she double sings, like Let the Storm Rage On, you ready her and she double sings it again or something. Like, just a lot available for this card that, once again, for Emerald, just don't love it. But at the end of the day, I do like the art of this card. I wouldn't say it's like top 3, but it's definitely a really cool card. Love the colors that are going on with it. Probably going to look pretty good in person. This one seems to have more just overall colors than the other cards. That map, it's got just a little, there's a lot of green on this card, for example, which I like, and I think that it might bode well to the overall look of it. One of my favorite Enchanteds, definitely in the top 3 for this set, would be the Island I Pulled from the Sea. Little Maui art. He's got his hook. He's pulling up a rock from the bottom of the sea. It's a pretty cool card. Search your deck for a location card. Reveal it. Reveal the card to all players, put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. I think that's a really, really cool just tech for the locations. And this personally is a cool card and art, in my opinion. Love that we've got some blues, we've got some greens, right? Obviously, I like the old Enchanted style that has a lot of vibrant colors that really stand out. This one seems to fit that mold a little bit more with some of the colors, and I think that this one just looks really, really good with the red outline. It's got the ruby font or color scheme, and it's got the red outline around Maui, around his hook. I think I think this card flows really well, and definitely one of my favorites in terms of the art from this set thus far. Obviously, it's an action song or an action/song, so it's going to be a little bit cheaper historically than a lot of the others within the set, which is nice. Now, obviously, if it's incredibly meta, like Along Came Zeus, then not so much. It's more expensive than a lot of the other cards. But at the end of the day, I don't think this one's going to be as popular as that. and it's a really cool art. So one that I'll gladly have in the binder. And then my least favorite Enchanted revealed thus far, probably my least favorite Enchanted ever, to be honest. Like, give me some of those early, like the Wall or whatever, the Cusco's Palace, Bell's House, or Bell's Workshop. Um, Give me all of those like early land Enchanteds that are like worthless now over this one. I think the Sugar Rush Speedway, the original card had a lot of color to it, and it looked very cool. This one, I think, just kind of kills the entire vibe of the card. Not a fan of this one whatsoever. I think this card is going to be incredibly cheap. I unless it's incredibly meta defining and it's like a 4 of for a lot of location decks, then that alone will carry the price. But from a collector's point of view, it's not hitting anything for me. So I'm curious your guys' thoughts. I mean, this is probably my least favorite Enchanted ever. Um, it's just, it's not doing it for me. So I'm not going to beat it up too much, but that's where I stand on the Sugar Rush Speedway Enchanted from Azurite Sea. Not a fan of it at all. But nevertheless, here we are. So would love to hear your guys' thoughts on all the Enchanted thus far, but specifically that Sugar Rush Speedway. I just feel like it's they didn't do themselves any favors with this one. I feel like it's a card that deserves to have all the vibrant reds and blues and things like that. Who knows? Maybe in person this one will just blow me away, but put that as my early favorite for least popular card amongst all of the releases thus far. That's pretty much what I wanted to go over today, guys. Pretty much just a Citizens of Lorcana Twitter dump, but they posted a lot of really cool stuff that I felt like it was worth mentioning and going over. Thank you for the feedback on the video yesterday about the bad seller. I'll continue to expose people like that. I mean, look, that person had multiple reviews multiple reviews of saying they were selling fake cards. They pulled down that Stitch listing of the Sword Champ that was definitely fake. They only had 6 sales in total with multiple bad reviews. Like, people like that are clearly just bad actors. I mean, look, I'm willing to give someone the benefit of the doubt if they've got a good sales volume or sales history. They had a fake slip through the cracks. Maybe they bought it, they didn't realize it, and they sold it. Like, stuff like that happens, and so I'm not going to crucify someone for making one mistake. But at the end of the day, I think that person was a bad actor, and if we see stuff like that, I think I need to make as many people as aware as possible. At the end of the day, if something like that happens and they reach out and they kind of give me some background on it, then fair enough. But I feel like we've got to protect anyone who's new to the hobby that's going on eBay and spending. I mean, like, look, like if you buy a fake Elsa, like that's an $800 piece of shiny cardboard. And while I think Elsa's a great card, and obviously I have an Elsa, and I think that it's a worthwhile purchase, at the end of the day, buying one of these and getting a fake is something that can literally ruin the hobby for someone. And rightfully so, right? And so I think we need to do our best to protect those people and make sure that the hobby stays as clean as it can. Look, it's an $800 piece of shiny cardboard. So there's always going to be bad actors. There's always going to be people that get burned. That's part of it, right? I can't say that I've ever bought a fake, but I've made bad purchases and things like that. Like, it's part of the game, part of learning of how to buy these pieces and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think putting as much information out there as possible, giving as much education as we can, and protecting anyone who's possibly looking at these cards, giving them tips and tricks to identify fakes, sellers to avoid, etc. I think that that's all worthwhile, and I think that that while that's not the main focus of my channel by any means, if there's stuff like that I see, I want to make the people aware. Because look, I mean, that person bought multiple fakes off eBay, and they got authenticated, right? And so then the person who sold those, they're free and clear because eBay and PSA authenticated it, and then eBay and PSA doubled down that they're not fake. Like, that's tough, right? And so that stuff like that needs to be talked about and exposed, and just once again gather as much knowledge as possible. Like the card from Shimmering Skies, gathering knowledge and wisdom. That's all we're doing here. We're trying to gather some knowledge and wisdom. on these fake cards and provide as much information as we can. So hopefully that was time well spent. The market, honestly, guys, there's not a lot to talk about there. Things are remaining very, very stagnant with where they are. I think if you've got any sealed first chapter or Rise of the Floodmorn, you've got your D23 collection boxes, things like that. I think you're in for a good run. Obviously, the individual cards and things like that, they're starting to dry up, but there's just not a lot of demand for the cards right now because we have this interesting correlation between the cards drying up while at the same time the demand is going down because we don't have any more challenge events. And so until we get through Continentals and Worlds and boot back up for the 2025 season, we're going to be in a little bit of a lull from a playing standpoint. Obviously, there's going to be like some smaller tournaments like the one that we talked about with Pavel. There's probably going to be some like SGC events, things like that, just some smaller one-off events, but nothing like we've seen here as of late. Keep in mind when on the Melee, or I think it was like PPG or whatever, the site for the Seattle Challenge, between the main event and all of the side events, there was 12K players registered for that event. Now, obviously, there's going to be duplicates there. Some people are going to do the main event. They're going to pre-register for the side events. They're going to try and get themselves exposed to it as much as possible. But 12K, entrance, well, maybe is it actually 6K? Is it 8K, 10K? I don't know. All I know is it's a lot, right? And so that's a ton of demand for the cards. That's a ton of demand for people to build their decks and get what they need, especially if they're going to travel to an event like this, pay the entry fee for an event like this, and have the opportunity to win these prize cards. You're going to come with the best deck that you absolutely can. As soon as that event ends and maybe it didn't go your way, then you've got your travel bills and everything that you paid to get there. Maybe you sell a few cards to help recoup that and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I think that that it's been a very, very fun kickoff to the DLC events. I think they did a fantastic job. Definitely some improvements. I would love to see some live gameplay, so that way the casters aren't watching it back on a replay. There's a couple other things, but at the end of the day, I think for season 1 they did a very good job, and I'm very, very excited for the future. Excited for that event with Pavel, Continentals, Worlds. We've got all sorts of hype coming up here. It's going to be a really fun time. But with that being said, I think it is going to, we've got, I don't know where we're going to go in the short term in terms of these prices for some of these individual cards like Elsa, for example. She is sitting at 790. She's been for the last 6 months anywhere as high as 1300, as low as 760. Right now we're sitting around 800, give or take. The demand is just it's at a very interesting spot. When I got into Lorcana a year ago, Elsa was $500. I bought her. She immediately went to 1,000. Now we're back down to 700, 800. You think about it. While it has gone down in price and there's not that much demand from a sales volume perspective right now, we're seeing a sale on the 28th, the 26th, 24th, every couple of days in Elsa sells. Now this is obviously just TCG player. There's a lot more volume on eBay specifically. But at the end of the day, I think that it's worth noting that we're a year in, right? We need time. We need the Lorcana machine to do what it does. Where Ravensburger's promoting it, Disney's promoting it. People are seeing it at Target. They're seeing the Gateway bundle. They're seeing the Ursula's Trove Deep Quest box. Ursula's Trouble Deep Quest box. They're going to the parks. They're seeing Lorcana in the parks. They're going to be going to Disneyland and seeing Continentals. They're going to be going to Disneyland Paris and seeing Continentals. Disney World, going to have Worlds. Like, there's all these massive events that are going to continue to, or there's massive events, and there's just the day-to-day of going to Target and seeing the packs. We need this machine to keep working. We're a year in. Don't get too hesitant on the or too pessimistic on the demand of a card like Elsa, specifically on TCG Player. If you want to see more sales, go to eBay. There's a lot more sales data there. But just we're kind of in a holding period right now. Once again, with the first chapter drying up and the second set drying up, I think that the singles, there's definitely a lag there, right? But we're starting to see it creep up, in terms of expected value, went from 200 up to like 205, 206. I think that's going to continue to happen, and we're going to kind of see that trend just go up and to the right from here. Obviously, barring some sort of massive reprint or anything like that, then that's going to completely, you might as well cut every price of all the first chapter Enchanteds in half if that did happen. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're focused on bigger and better things. I think the one reprint was more than enough, and we haven't seen any reason as to think why they are going to reprint it. But obviously, they have also never given us an official statement that they are not. So, with that being said, that is where we're at, guys. Please let me know your thoughts on the market in the comments below. Obviously, not a lot going on, but I did want to at least touch on it a little bit. Much more exciting things going on the Citizens of Lorcana Twitter machine. So I recommend to follow there if you have not. Most of you probably are. They're closing in on 8,000 followers on Twitter, which is nothing short of impressive there. So please let me know your thoughts, guys. I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll be back with another video soon. Bye.